obviously, we're going to have to jump right into our headline topic, which is the gameplay trailer that fooled the world.
Are we showing it, or are we just going to talk about it?
Yeah, we might as well show it. I mean, what's IGN going to do? Copyright strike us?
Oh, we could have just brought it up from like the creators. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You guys are going to want to go check it out on your own screens because you're watching this through our compression.
Yes.
Now, there are some things that are very, very convincing about this.
Yeah,
in fact,
absolutely.
I think the approach of the building is probably the most hyper-realistic looking part of this gameplay trailer. The fact that this gets blown out as the camera's apparent automatic exposure adjusts to the darker environment here on the protagonist's left. But this flashlight, come on, it looks like a video game flashlight. And okay, to be
I thought
clear,
it was pretty good.
To be clear, okay, I'll bring it back up. In a second. I am not hating on the people that were initially bamboozled here.
Okay, right. Yeah.
But when the game developer came out and said, no, this is in-engine, this is rendered on just a gaming computer, this is just the game being played, and people are like, no, I don't believe you. And they actually can't tell at that point. I mean, really? Okay, so we'll go back. Let's go back to the game. So I want to talk about this flashlight, okay, and the way that it illuminates things. That is not how a flashlight works. The light bouncing is not true to life at all.
I think it's pretty good. I think it's better than most games.
No question. But even after, so what happened is this gameplay trailer was released. People basically went, it looks like you're cheating. It looks like you just recorded body cam footage and you're trying to pass it off as a game trailer. You're trying to pull some kind of scam, right? And he comes out and he goes, actually, no. And he posts a no-clip version of it where he's flying around.
You can technically fake a lot of what happened in that no-clip version.
You can technically fake anything.
I agree with Linus, actually. But I'm throwing some counterpoints to try to make it more interesting. You can technically fake a lot of what happened in the no-clip.
Sir, you can fake a battle with a sea dragon in Shang-Chi. That doesn't mean that what he did is not perfectly valid evidence.
Okay, hold on. I actually have a bit of a counterpoint.
Let's bring up the no clip. Okay?
Yeah.
Unrecord.
I have it on my screen, full screen.
You've got it?
If you just want to share mine.
I'm coming over to you. Go for it.
So I'm going to go back to the beginning.
Okay.
This is it.
So here he is in the environment, showing the way the auto exposure, quote unquote, handles things. And then he goes, also, that is not the angle at which arms come out of an actual body. So, no. Here we go. Those reflections in the water look great.
Jump cut slightly.
And I want to make it really clear. I am not saying that this is an ugly looking game or that this hyper realism appearance that it has is not hyper realistic. It's hyper realistic. It's amazing.
It just looped. This is back to the beginning.
Okay.
So some of my arguments. There are
easily
things that this developer could have done to make the no-clip proof significantly more obvious as actual real proof.
I mean, he went through walls.
That's not actually that hard to fake at all. I think that they did it this much so that there's just the slightest bit of doubt in some people because that is getting us to talk about it. I think this was tactical.
That's fair enough, which is fair enough. However,
I think the developer is very smart and did this entirely on purpose.
Personally, I did not need the no clip because there are some fairly obvious tells. And I mean, maybe part of this, and the people after the no clip basically saying, I still don't believe you, la, 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 la. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys because, and maybe part of this is that I do this for a living. Like I pixel peep and evaluate the graphical fidelity of things and look at new rendering features and their implementations. I actually do this for a living. But to me,
there's some things that stand out.
If you sent this to me and said, okay, what is this? What is this bokeh effect here? Obvious post-processing. That is not real bokeh.
I think another thing that really, really benefits all the footage is because it's trying to recreate this effect of like
shaky
some
cam,
janky body cam.
Yes.
It does a bunch of stuff like this where it actually it's intentionally lowering its quality,
sure,
while having really, really high quality assets. So that makes it so much more believable. Is these like actually really rough, like kind of bad screen effects that they have going on make it so much more believable. It's a very interesting effect.
The way that they handle the motion, okay, the way that they handle the perspective and the camera shaking, so cool.
I also think
so cool
that this is like piloted by expert. So I have some theories that just like in Tarkov, there's independent head control. Mm-hmm. So in Tarkov, if you hold down your middle mouse button, it doesn't matter where your firearm is located. You can look around like this with your head. Right. And I think that's going on in here. Mm-hmm. And the developer, whoever, has just ran through the scenario a bunch of times. So they did it at really realism effective times, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So when there's already that thing where you can kind of move where you're aiming and the perspective of the like head of the person that you're controlling doesn't immediately move, so you have the firearm slightly disconnected,
and that's something most people wouldn't be used to and wouldn't imagine that a game would be capable of doing.
Like Counter-Strike, Valorant, stuff like that, they don't do that. It's fixed. There are games that do this already. This one's implementation is extremely good.
Let's have a look at that.
I think it's doubling up with some independent head control. And a player who is extremely adept at making this feel real.
Sure.
Like, I think this is almost acted, I would say. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's a trailer.
Yeah, they went through trying to make it feel like it was real, which is what they should have done for the trailer. But I think it's both.
Again, we've got messy post-processing here.
The smoke.
Yeah. The smoke is absolutely video game smoke.
The smoke is wild, yeah.
The angle of the arms is also wrong again.
And it's not like, to be clear, it's not bad smoke for a video game. It's just also, it's video game smoke.
Yeah. The way that this darkness that he's standing in here is so dark, that's not correct.
Like blacked out,
with daylight coming in here, this would be blown out, but this would have a lot more light. And again, okay, I'm like I was actually kind of arguing with Riley about this before the show, because I said something along the lines of, "Where's my chat with Riley?" I was
also,
like,
really great, while you're looking that up, really great area scans of where this is.
I was like, it's obvious it's not real. What if these people never seen a game before? Must be console gamers. Modded Crysis can look almost this good. And he's like, I was kind of trolling because I knew that
going a little far.
I was obviously messing with him a little bit, because he's like, bro. Me and apparently 75 of the internet were like, whoa, upon seeing it.
It's definitely a whoa. It's pretty crazy. I was talking to Jaden about this, because he's really into game engines and understands a lot of their limitations and stuff like that. We've had conversations in the past about different game engines. I'll like comment about how some game looks good, and he'll be like, no, it doesn't, because of these reasons. And I'm like, oh, okay,
and it's
that's
a
actually
whoa.
A pretty good point.
But another thing that it only occurred to me now that my eye is trained for is not just the video game graphics pixel peeping, but cameras. I spend so much of my life working on one side or another of a camera. And so when I see something like this is such a perfect example where I go, nah, dog, this ceiling, this roof up here absolutely has strong reflections on it because of the reflectiveness of this water. This is not correct. It's very obvious to me because I know what a webcam should look like. But see, you can see it's doing a much better job of it here. After our protagonist takes even just a few steps forward, that wouldn't happen in the real world. It would be more gradual. That kick animation, though, come on.
But the door movement and stuff,
The door
good.
movement's pretty good.
Like they're I don't want to trash on certain aspects
That's
of it too
very
much.
fake, very fake, very fake.
What is?
This flashlight. Look at it. Come on.
You can get extremely focused flashlights.
Yeah, you can get extremely focused flashlights, but they wouldn't have a beautifully defined circle around them like this.
Yeah.
No, dog. No. This looks great.
Oh yeah, one of the things that I thought of in the no clip demo to make it like more believable, he should have done object interaction. He should have like picked an object and like moved it around, replaced it somewhere.
Right.
But it's area scans, so I don't even think he can.
Right. Do you want to explain what area scans are? Because I think a lot of people are probably looking at this going, this is blowing my mind.
Level of detail is
How can
insane.
anything have this kind of graphical fidelity? Because there was another demo that popped up recently of like a village or something. I'm going to try and find it.
Okay.
But it was also photorealistic and apparently done by a single developer. Don't quote me on any of this, though, because I'm a little bit...
Again, when I was talking to Jaden about this before the show, he looked up and I think, if I remember correctly, I don't want to misquote him. I think he found that they like worked with some company to get scans, and he was saying that like the area that they scanned isn't necessarily, Quixel Megascan. There we go. I think that's what he said too. So it's not necessarily that the area that they scanned is in this exact configuration, but they could have like, cut it up. So, through this door might have been like some, I don't know, medical room or something. But they're like, oh, we don't want that. We want that to be another part of the warehouse. So they just like move it there, and they can do that. But this is like an existing area that they could have chopped up or just not. So when you notice things like something that stood out to me on my like first pass was the green when I first looked at it.
Should I be on your screen?
There's these green. Oh yeah, here we go. These green banners. Or whatever these are. I was like, oh, they all have unique graffiti. Like, why would they like bother to do that?
Right.
And then I almost immediately was like, is this some type of scan? And then, Jaden, without me even prompting, like immediately looked it up, and it was.
That's another thing too, because it's a scan, 3-dimensional things. Like, for example, the textures, we see some dumpsters and stuff inside later. Those textures do not look 3-dimensional enough as you move around them.
Even
they're quite flat.
Look at this banner.
Yeah.
Really quick. This just looks like it's a different color when you get close.
Yeah.
It looks like it's shading.
It's flat.
But as you go by, it's flat, right?
Yeah. If this scan technology improved to the point where you could scan in 3 dimensions, more finely, obviously this is a 3-dimensional scan.
And it might have just been that like they didn't spend enough time on that one like sheet of plastic or whatever that thing is on the fence. And like maybe if they got more detailed scans of that individual thing, they could have actually gotten that depth. But it's really impressive what they're able to do with this like photogrammetry scanning stuff. There's people that have been scanning buildings using this and then just bringing in the untextured like depth maps.
Yeah.
And then texturing them with mid-journey textures, which is really, really interesting.
One way or another, even if it's not the kind of thing that, I can look at and go, wow, this is definitely body cam footage, because it's definitely not. It's not, some people are talking about the flashlight still. It's not just that it's a perfect circle. That's pretty normal. What it is the way that the flashlight is static. Okay, so the edges are kind of blurred here. If we go back to it again for a second here.
Yeah, Atari in full plane chat just said you can 3D scan. Yeah, that's why I said like they might just not have taken as much time on that like one sheet of whatever, because it's probably not that big of a deal.
So come look at this. Here's something that they could do to improve this a little bit. You see how it has this this kind of halo around it. A real person holding a real flashlight would have jitter, rotationally and side to side and up and down. It has no rotational jitter. So it's just a static, it's like it's a map applied to the light output that is coming from this gun. It's always the same kind of haze. That's what makes it look unnatural. That's what makes it look incorrect, not true to the real world. Some people are still in the chat saying, I'm actually still questioning this. Freddie Wong has done videos where he shoots actual video made to look like a video game. Guys, no. This is an engine. It's just getting that cool. Check this out. This is the one I was talking about from Taichi Kobayashi. It's not quite as, because of the way the camera moves, it's more video game like.
Yeah.
It's not as convincing. You can see kind of some fisheye to the lens, and yet the lens is not quite where your eyes would be. It doesn't have that vignetting that gives it that really convincing like goggle effect. I think that's part of why the other one's so convincing too, is it really feels like you're looking through goggles.
Yeah.
But in terms of the scans, in terms of the photorealism of this, guys, games are coming. They're going to look like this.
Yeah,
this is freaking cool. It doesn't matter.
See, like that waterfall doesn't seem legit.
Yeah, but
that house. Oh, my, for a second there, when there was none of the outside, that looked like it could have been a Google Maps screenshot.
Yeah.
Like,
it looks like a picture.
Wow.
And look how different and like independently waving, like all this greenery is.
And stuff.
It's the greenery on this one. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I want you guys to go watch it. It's just UE5 environment art, Cliffwood Village. Go check this out, guys.
That's wild. I've never seen that.
I'm gonna
have to go watch that.
It's beautiful.
Thing later.
It's art.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So that's one of my like biggest, I guess, red flag concerns about this thing is how many people it convinced and how realistic it is. Like, it's very, very impressive. Yes, there's some tells, but it's extremely impressive.
With a little bit of AI and a little bit
more polished, a little bit AI. Give it 3 or 4 years. The old, when I was first growing up.
I thought you were getting into how this could be like dangerous, like faking things or whatever. Oh, that is where you're going. Oh, good.
When we were first growing up, it was Pixar. It didn't happen, right? And then that pretty quickly was like
video, or it didn't happen.
Video, or it didn't happen.
What's truth now?
That's like gone. Jaden was saying, you combine a bunch of these things. You combine, as far as this has gotten in regards to realism with the movement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You combine that with
lower the
deepfakes.
resolution a little bit, and it'd be tougher for me to tell. Like, part of how I can tell is how sharp it is.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, that's something I didn't even mention. It looks too good for like body cam or webcam or like GoPro footage. It's too sharp.
Like too high quality.
Yeah.
A lot of those things are they're buying for like the entire country's police force, right?
Yeah.
So like they're usually going to be pretty cheap.
They're cheap. They don't look that good.
But yeah, you combine deep fakes in terms of how people look. You combine the like voice emulation stuff that people are doing. You combine a lot of the stuff that we see in here and even slightly improve all those things by a little bit. And the average person is not going to be able to tell, like, at all.
Yeah, this is wild.
And as long as you can have a legitimate debate where there's a significant amount of people on both sides, then what is like representable truth other than eyewitness?
This is great. Bixby in the Floatplane chat says, live stream where it didn't happen. I mean, have you seen some of the unmaskings that have happened with like the biggest ones that I'm aware of were some live streamers in China where they were pretty much wearing the appearance of a completely different looking person.
What? No, I've never heard of this.
Really? I thought we've talked about this on the show before.
I don't think so.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Beauty YouTuber exposed during live stream. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, this is it. This is her. This is her. So it's like real-time appearance modification.
I mean, you
live.
see those like filter things on TikTok and stuff.
Yeah,
it's not like they don't exist elsewhere.
Yep, 100%. And when you're running them on more powerful hardware, you can do more outlandish things with it. So live stream where it didn't happen? Nope.
Yeah.
Well, we have nothing left.
The second it's video or it didn't happen, live stream or it didn't happen is already basically out the window.
Well, it's harder to apply those effects live. I mean, you look at, again, back to Shang-Chi.
If you can do it...
Okay, their dragons are real. Not real time.
If you can do it not in real time, being able to do it in real time is coming. That's what I'm saying. Like... eventually a computer will get fast enough and it can just do it. It's fine.
Yep.
It'll be right around the corner. Companies like NVIDIA will make sure that happens.